Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. In this video we're going to be covering 5 games you've probably played when you were younger or still play today. So grab your cup of tea, sit back and enjoy the video. Number 5. Dark Orbit. Dark Orbit was a game created by Big Point back in 2006. Originally, this game was created for German players, but the game quickly became popular worldwide. The game used to be super popular, having tens of thousands of players, but since 2012 or 13, Dark Orbit started to go down in terms of player count. This was the case because Dark Orbit was turning into a massive cash grab by Big Point, introducing new items that cost you Iridium, the elite currency, and to get all of them easily or fast you'd have to pay money, making the game pay to win, because the players with these new items would have a massive advantage over players without those items. This was always the case, however, back in the old days as well. Like when your ship got destroyed by a higher level player that easily one-shotted you, you'd have to pay Iridium to repair it, unless it was one of the lower level ships, making the game almost unplayable for players that didn't pay money. Despite this, the game became very popular worldwide, and I enjoyed my time playing it. These days though, you'd be lucky to find the server that has active players around all the maps, and not just maxed out players that kill everyone in sight. Now Dark Orbit was pretty basic. It was a monster farming PvP based game. So what you did was you get a ship, you join one of the 3 factions being Venus, Earth or Mars, and then you start trading up your accounts. But the real focus of this game was definitely PvP content. And unless you spent money, you'd probably not get very far. Which is a shame, and that's probably the reason this game died. Number 4. Happy Wheels. Happy Wheels was a ragdoll physics-based platform browser game developed and published by Fancy 4 Studios. The game was created by the indie game designer Jim Bonacci in 2010. The game is best known for the funny physics and graphic violence once you fall off or get crushed by something in-game. And this is part of the reason why the game got so popular. I can almost guarantee that you have played this game back in the day or still do or know the game from the popular YouTuber called PewDiePie, as he made a huge amount of videos on this game and used them to rack up millions and millions of views. The game Happy Wheels was simple and fun and also had an option to make your own levels, which also helped in it becoming popular, as lots of people started creating their own maps and sharing them around for their friends or other players to publicly play their maps they created. I personally enjoyed playing Happy Wheels but don't have any nostalgic feelings towards the game, because it isn't that old and I didn't play it that much back then, but this is definitely one of the most popular browser games of all time. Number 3. Club Penguin. Club Penguin was an online MMORPG game created by New Horizons Interactive in the summer of 2005. Club Penguin was officially launched on 24 October 2005. It was later on bought by Disney in August 2007. I can almost guarantee you played this game as a kid. I mean, this game was almost as popular as Runescape back then, or Habbo Hotel. It was kind of the same. It was a big online game with lots of people and more or less like a all-day VR chat, like a sort of chatting game where you could interact with players and show off your pets and your cool items or sunglasses and stuff like that, while at the same time doing little mini games inside the game itself. Now the footage you're seeing on screen is pretty dead. You don't see very many players, and this is because the game is pretty dead these days. It used to be very popular back then, but we all grew up, but we still remember this game, and I'm sure you do as well. The reason there are private servers now and a mobile game of Club Penguin is because Club Penguin was discontinued on March the 30th, 2017. The footage you're seeing on screen now are Club Penguin's final moments before permanently shutting down. This video was uploaded by Driver3Joe on YouTube and now has 6.8 million views. That just shows you how popular this game really was back then and how many people came on for the final moments of the game. After shutting down the original Club Penguin game, Disney launched a new game called Club Penguin Island, being a superior version in terms of graphics to its predecessor Club Penguin. But on the 27th of September 2018, Disney confirmed in a letter to Disney Canada that Club Penguin Island would be shutting down as well. And in October 2018, the official shutdown date was confirmed to be December the 20th, 2018, the last day Club Penguin would ever be live. This was the message that was posted on the 27th of September 2018, saying a goodbye to the Club Penguin family, or announcing that the game was going to shut down. As the developers say, in a time when games come and go within months, it was one of the longest running kids games of all time, and at its height had over 200 million accounts. Players from countries all around the world showed their commitment to the game by adopting 25 million puffles, the main pets in the game if you didn't know, and creating over 200,000 videos on the game. Just think about that. 200 million accounts created on Club Penguin. That's absolutely massive and needs to be respected as one of the most popular browser MMO games of all time. Number 2. Dead Frontier. Yet again a super popular browser free-to-play MMO based game, but this time with zombies. The first version of Dead Frontier, being the 2D version, was designed by Neil Yates solo and published by Creaky Corps. And on September the 20th, 2010, a 3D version of Dead Frontier was released. The 3D version of Dead Frontier proved to be very popular. Tens of thousands of people online at any given point in time, at a certain point of the game's lifespan, and millions of accounts made. And this later led to a sequel called Dead Frontier 2, which was released on September the 5th, 2018 on Steam. And you can go and play that game right now if you wish to, or Dead Frontier 3D if you feel like it. But in my opinion, Dead Frontier 3D will always be much better than the second game, as it has nostalgic value and the game is just so good overall. You had a good looting mechanic, although it was kind of pay to win in a way. The game was actually pay to win anyways, which might have led to lots of people quitting back in the day, but the game was good. You had bosses to fight, which were very engaging and sometimes difficult, requiring skill or patience to kill. What always made the game fun for me was the looting aspect of the game. Once you went out to loot with friends or solo, there was always that chance you would get a very expensive item you could sell on the marketplace, and that just got you so hyped for every time you looted. And if you did get one of those expensive items, you'd probably be very hyped, and there were those looting videos on YouTube which people would watch just out of pure satisfaction of seeing people loot expensive items, loot montages, people killing bosses with heavy metal music, which was pretty much a stereotypical video of Dead Frontier bossing. And it was just a very cool game with a nice community around it as well. There was also a PvP aspect in the game, but this wasn't as popular as just running around and killing people, and usually the people that spent money on the game for better items did the PvP mode, because if you were a champion or something of the PvP mode, you would get access to the Dusk store, which would have very good weapons you could buy, and only you could buy because it was an instant shop. And the outpost attacks, of course, the zombies attacking your outpost. Oh, the nostalgia. I will forever remember this game. Now, before we get to number 1, I just want to give some honorable mentions in terms of popular browser games you probably have played back in the day. Pawn Game, release date unknown. Motherload. And of course, Age of War, which you've probably all played as well. And at number 1, we have Runescape. Now you probably remember Runescape from 2006, 7, 8, 9 and 10. But the first public version of Runescape was actually released in January 2001. The game became so popular that the company Jagex began to plan major changes. The developers rewrote the game engine, producing a new version of the game with 3D graphics called RuneScape 2, or better known as just RuneScape. Now the modern version of RuneScape, the third iteration of the game, also known as RuneScape 3, was released in July 2013. This was a very controversial update, however, and later an older version of the game from 2007 called Old School RuneScape or 2007scape was released in February 2013. This version is currently the most popular version of the game, and the less popular modern version of the game called RuneScape 3 still has 20 to 30,000 people online at any given point in time. The old school version has almost triple that, and recently the mobile version of Old School RuneScape was released, introducing a huge new wave of new players into the game. Now it's kind of hard to summarize a game like RuneScape in just 2 minutes, But this game is so massive, and you've probably played it back in the day, or maybe still do, as it's so popular. The game has had over 200 million accounts created and is recognized by the Guinness World Records as the world's largest and most updated free MMORPG, even though a huge chunk of the player base is actually a member, paying a monthly fee to access all content in the game. Honestly, Runescape had it all. Great in-game music, good gameplay, PvM, PvP, and a huge active player base. And still to this day remains one of my favorite games of all time, and the game, or one of the games, I've built my channel on. Anyways, I'm new to this type of video. I hope you guys did enjoy the video though. If you did, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.